Music. Good morning. How's everybody? Let's see. I forgot my music. And I do not have my laptop up here. It's not a great Monday, I guess. Let's see. My favorite music will come up. There it is. How are you guys? Happy Monday. Is it a Monday for you? I did not want to get out of bed. I have not even spoken. Here we go. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm here though. You're here. Hello. Good morning. Oh, yikes. I've had no coffee. I really need one. So we better start that first writing sprint really fast here. I was thinking though that today, this whole week, I need to focus on my intentions. I think focusing, saying them out loud really helps you make progress. So that's a thing. Let me try to sign into the chat, see where we're at. Wow. First time I got in. That's a miracle. I could still be dreaming. Are we really here? Is it really Monday? I don't know if I'm broadcasting, but we'll see. Somebody should arrive. Tell me if they can hear me. I had everything set up to do my podcasting, so when I transfer between the two, sometimes things work differently. Oh, and I wanted to promote my new book. This is my idea journal, but I finally got the coloring book out, and I don't know if it's live yet because I had to. Let's look real quick. That could be interesting to know. I can't remember what I'm calling it. Okay, I do not see it. I usually probably have to go to my oh, there's one of my books. It's nice that that comes up, but I can't tell if one of my coloring books comes up. Yeah, I don't think it's there yet. But we will work on that. I want to share it. It's a coloring book for doing states and their capitals. So if you're in the UK like some of my buddies, you won't be interested, but you might still like the coloring. We'll see. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Yeah, I don't think it's live yet. Is it 72 hours? How many days is that? Yeah, I don't see it. No. Nah, still no. That's a big no. Oh, well. That happens sometimes. All right, let's get our first writing sprint going because that's what we come to do. We come here to do two 25-minute writing sprints. On your mark, get set, write. Boy, I've got a full week. That's why I'm setting intentions. I mean, I get a lot done, but I feel like I get more done when I sort of speak it out loud. Tell myself at least what I'm planning to do. Let's see. Oops. Oh boy, I really can't see yet. How about you? Hopefully you guys are ready to work. Yeah, it's still in review. But I like the thumbnail. I changed some of the the color of the cover. Anyway, we are jumping in to our first writing sprint. I see I got a few people here. Can you guys hear me okay? Allie! I gotta get to the... There we are. Woohoo! Allie's in the house. Thank you. Elevator operator. Yeah, old-timey. What floor, ma'am? Lingerie is on third floor. Toys on the fourth. Didn't they always put toys on the top floor in the big supermarket or department stores? Not a supermarket. Well, I have been to a supermarket that had an elevator, but it was really from the garage up, you know. But how are you? Morning. Oh, Sergio. Morning. I am still asleep. This is part of my dream that we're doing this writing sprints. What's going on? Let's see. What's going on? So many things. Let's see. I've gotten back into my podcast editing, which is so time consuming, but I gotta do it. I've set a launch date of October 1st, which is one of those, I don't know if you guys have ever put a podcast out, but it's sort of a rolling start that you have to, to get it approved could take a few hours. It could just be like boonk, or it could take several days, 4 days. So you really have to start, so if I want to launch on the 1st, I need to start 4 days before that, which the 1st is a Friday. So I need to put it out on a Monday. And I don't know. I'm thinking, I'm not going to even be in town when we're going to be traveling. So I think I'm going to put it out on the Wednesday before that, before we leave. So it'll be sort of a very soft launch, and then I'll just start promoting it for like it's new on the 1st. So that's the plan. And through the end of the year. I think the last episodes. So I decided I need 21 episodes, I believe. Maybe 23? Where's that note? Anyway, it's going to be quite a schedule for me to get done in time, but I can do it. Well, I'm trying to get everything done before the launch. So if I don't, I could obviously still be editing like the last 2 episodes. I could get that done because it's going to be, that's probably like October, November. So it's like a 3-month season. I don't know. The thing is, there's no rules really with podcasting except that the quality should be good. Can you guys hear me? I thought you'd tell me if you couldn't, but I don't see any more comments coming up. You're probably having dinner, lunch, work, all those good things. All right, I'm going to find something to work on. I could just check this real quick and come back to my music. I usually like to check the feed, but I am really going to have to come out of this. There I am. Your channel. Yeah, I can see me. Oh, good. I can hear me. Now I got to go back to my music. Okay. That's not a bad place to put the sound. I noticed before that I put the sound down below. Let's see. You sent me a Truby video. Well, thank you. I don't know where that is sent to. Maybe a link? Yeah, I totally know Truby. Don't get me wrong about Trube. I have read his stuff. I've seen him in person. I've even had bootleg tapes. Remember the tapes? Used to put in your Walkman. I never had a Walkman actually, but yep. So thank you, but I mean, I just this I won't be something I'm jumping into listen to, because I've been there, done that. I have done my studying when it comes to learning new techniques. There's other new things I can learn, but when it comes to screenwriting, it's not about the basics, which is that's what those guys are teaching. I mean, they get into things much deeper, but let's see. I have no idea what I should work on with you guys. Oh, I do have some notes over here. I pulled out the whiteboards and did some stuff, so I do need to break the scene, so I'm going to do that. I need a final draft. My notes. No, that's not the ones I want. All right, and this is the one I want. What? I'm sure I had a new one. Nope. Okay. She's talking to herself. Let's see. New. I seriously can't see yet. I'm like, what? It's like naming things so you know where you are. The date's important, but let's see. After midpoint. Okay, that's what I'm calling it. Reading my notes that I put on a whiteboard, and I put a ton more on my laptop, and I forgot to bring my laptop. I left it. Messenger, refresh. Okay. You're asking me to do things on my phone. My phone is working hard right now. Let's see, Messenger. Yep, I see it. Thank you. Misconceptions about rewriting. Sounds cool. Yeah, I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that. Oh my gosh. There's so much I have on my plate to finish by the end of this month, that the goal is to focus, as Allie often tells me. Focus, focus, focus. And I can't allow myself to be distracted by pretty little things. Okay. I could just work on any scene. Any scene would do. Let's see. Let's do the climax scene. Plot-wise. When I don't really know what to write in a scene, I just write a bunch of dialogue. It sort of gets me into it. When it comes, that's screenwriting. Oh. Okay, I still can't see. I mean, I can see, I can't. It's too early. I'm not awake, she said. Mm. And I'm writing from the midpoint, and I have to incorporate and think about the whole rest of the screenplay. So I have to, there's no way to write the second part of Act 2 without deciding your endpoint. And one of the great ways to figure out what fills that space is to look what you've written before, because starting in the second part of Act 2, which I call Act 2B, 2B, I start having to look at the payoffs. What were the things you set up that you have to start paying off? Clue, what a great game. I see it's Clue Junior. Let's see, can I be Colonel Mustard? That's, I remember Colonel Mustard. There was like a Mrs. White. I really haven't eaten or drank or talked enough today. I really just tumbled. I kept waking up last night. More than I normally do. So by the time my alarm went off this morning, I was still really asleep. I was just like, what? No. Oh, I really feel like it takes about an hour to really wake up. I don't know about you. Movement, body movement would help. Move that body. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Who ate the cake? Is the theme. That sounds much better than the more mysterious version, the adult version. It sounds like you could change the theme. It was Mrs. Marple. I know. Isn't there a purple one or a violet? They're all colors. They're all color names. Scarlet, Miss Scarlet. In the dining room with the good china. That's the one that ate the cake. I like that it's reasoning. That game's like, it teaches you the process of elimination. It's a good lesson. It's a good life lesson to get that in your head. Good luck. Good luck with your game. In many ways, that's what we're doing with writing as well. It's the process of elimination. Yeah, I need a list. Storylines I need to start tying up. Because the subplots must be tied up before the main plot. I would say, Sergio, though, about John Truby, he'd probably be a really good guy for you to study. I think Truby talks about things that you need to know about screenwriting. You need to know something about screenwriting to understand what he tells you. And you do understand screenwriting. So I feel like he's a really good person for you to listen to. Because I know that I just feel like Truby sort of deep dives into some areas that others don't, but they're areas that if you're new to screenwriting, I think he would lose people. So I think that's good to know that, because some people just teach basic writing, basic screenwriting, and others, they cover basics, but then they really get into some areas that are important to know. And I would still say, though, that Because I once took this online course and it was really great for me, but it was great for me because I had studied screenwriting a little here and a little here and a little here. And I took this course that allowed me to pull all that knowledge together, add it to what this new guy was teaching. And then I feel like that all is what made me a good screenwriter, and then obviously I took all of that and I went and practiced it. Because at some point when people teach you screenwriting, especially the online course I did, they're teaching you this and this and this and this and this also. And obviously they're teaching it in some way that makes sense that you should learn screenwriting, but you can't come out of it. And we had to come up with an idea at the beginning of this course, and at the end we were supposed to have a finished screenplay. But technically there's no way to do that, have a good screenplay. I know in later years, because I was early in one of their courses, I know I heard of other people that came through the program and did have really good scripts at the end, which means that they didn't actually use everything. You can't study every part of screenwriting and put it all into one script and make a good script. It's just not possible, because you learn different things that are meant for different genres. And anyway, so my point being, the right screenwriting teacher, or even just the right teacher, does usually come along when you need them. And it happened for me. I mean, I obviously searched pretty hard to learn all the elements I needed to learn for screenwriting. But there has to be a point when you find a teacher that can bring it all together and help you to internalize what you've learned, so you can write the same quality screenplay every time you sit down to write. If you're just sitting down to write and you're sort of still at the point where you have to look into, oh, how do you do that again? There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you learn to be better. But I would be really afraid to still be at that stage and trying to get work in the industry. I feel like there's a process to learning screenwriting, and a lot of people jump the process. They write a really great script because they have a really great concept, but they don't understand why it's great, and they don't understand how to reduplicate that process. And when you go out and have success at that level, when you haven't learned the process, you can have a good career, I guess. I guess people have. But to me, it's hard. And to me, what happens is that screenwriters like that, that start like that, sort of transition quickly into being directors or producers, and let someone else do the hard work of breaking a script, and they're then able to understand a script better than others because they've written one. But I do know of a few writers that kind of had success before they were really knew how they did it. They couldn't duplicate it, I guess that's what I'm saying. And they couldn't duplicate it because they didn't really know how to write a screenplay. They just got lucky the first time. And that's sad, because it means they had real talent. And this industry can just burn you out. If you don't know what you're doing, you got to know hey man, if you've got this is probably getting too deep, but I feel like the movie industry is really hard on people with fragile egos. But unfortunately, as creatives, we all tend to have, at some point, a fragile ego. I mean, think of actors. Actors totally are able to put this facade on and hide themselves. And in many ways, that makes them really vulnerable to being taken advantage of, to being hurt by the process, the constant, no, you're not worthy, we're not hiring you for this part, the constant auditions and not getting it. I mean, it's a really brutal process, and the same thing happens throughout the industry, maybe a little less in your face, but writers get so many rejections. So Allie, that's my answer to your question. Losing is a rejection, and that's why kids don't like it. So I guess in some ways it's good that they can lose at a game, because it's just a game. but life is full of losses. And as a writer, I'm sure you know that. Because as writers, we put it out there all the time, and we don't hit the mark. So take from that what you will. It's a life lesson, right? I don't know. There's some cool balance there between being ready and going for it and being past ready. Like you know, you can put too much. You can go the other way too. You can work on something too long. You can study too long, and you do need to get to a point where you should test it. But I think you know, as a writer, you know if you can write something and duplicate the process. If screenwriting and that process is really hard and takes you years to write one script, that's when, yeah, it shouldn't take you a year to write a script. I'm sorry. As if you want to write professionally. You need to know how to write a screenplay in a month if you are a professional screenwriter. And that's not just, who's calling me? Jacksonville, Florida. Oh, I can't. It's not a real call. It's a spam call. But anyway, yeah, so that maybe is just like a little side tip. Oh, we got 2 minutes left of this writing sprint. Yeah, there's a difference between if you can write a solid script, and I'm like, you've already brainstormed it, outlined it, done all that, but you could take that information and turn it into a script. If you can take an outline. So if you can take an outline, and I would hope the outline wouldn't take you longer than a couple weeks to create, beat sheet, whatever you want to look at it, treatment. If you can turn that into a solid script in a month, maybe 2 months. I'll give you 2 months if you want, but a month to 2 months, if you can do that, then you definitely have gotten yourself to a good level as a screenwriter. If it takes you a year to write a script once you've got an outline, then that's too long to be hired. Because most screenwriting gigs come from somebody hiring you to rewrite their script or write their idea. That's the majority. If you want to work in Hollywood, that's the majority of, that to me was the hugest blow, because when I first got into screenwriting, I was like, this will be fun. I'll write my screenplay, I'll send it out there, and someone will buy it, and they'll make it and turn it into a movie. But that's not how it works. It can work that way, but that's not how it typically works. The majority of working screenwriters who earn a living at it, they're basically screen rewriters. There are some A-listers that work on more original, but they're still working, they're still hired. Like, you know, somebody hires someone to write the next Iron Man movie, whatever, the next Avenger movie. Someone's hired to write that, and you're hired to write that because you've proven that you can do it really fast. And, well, I don't know. Sorry, it's an Avenger movie. I don't want to dish them because I love them, but it's we're not talking about, you know, writing a drama. But anyway, it's still a script, and scripts still take time, and you still gotta think through all that stuff. Okay, yeah. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually writing what happens with this plot line? What happened to this plot line? When does it tie up? You have to plot all that, right? Oh, now I've totally hidden where are you? Oh, all right, guys. The first writing sprint. Ta-da! We did it. Well, you did it. I came up with 2 points to think about, but mostly it's coffee time. I might actually be able to focus if I have my Tim Hortons coffee. Yep, doing Tim Horton again. You know, do I like it just because the red, there's red on the label? Maybe. I might be that shallow. Because I've already told you, it's really the creamer I drink it for, right? Although I do like the smell. Let's wait for the smell. Wait for it! Yeah, you can't smell it, but I'll wait for it. Anyway. So when it comes to writing books, I feel a lot more freedom as a book writer. I don't feel like you have to get it as well as a screenwriter, because book writing is so different. Book writing, see, that's what I thought screenwriting was like, because I just feel like the book industry was more understood. I think it still is. It's far easier to understand how book writing works because we become fans of the authors. You as the mass world does not become fans of screenwriters. It's not that, you aren't elevated. It's a weird business. So, like, if you wanted people to bow down, at least be like, wow, you're good, man. If you wanted people, by and large, to give you those kind of accolades, you should be a playwright, or you should be a novelist and, write the next great American or wherever you live novel. And then, people will write books about you. That doesn't really happen with screenwriters. I mean, there are books about some screenwriters, but it's not the same. So it's not the same as far as the approach. And of course, you don't sell screenplays the way you sell books. So, and they aren't produced the same way. They don't become things the same way. And that's where the difficulty lies. In a script, everything is vitally important. It's like special real estate, right? It's like tweets. You only have so much space, and it's all basically a blueprint for filming a movie. So it's so different than a book. A book can go into stuff, and it can go off on tangents, and still somehow it all comes together, and it's wonderful. And so it could go on this journey of the mind that scripts can't. Oh, the smell of it! I love it. It smells good. Let's see. Oh, we're doing really great on time. I like it when I'm on time for the show. So we'll get into our second writing sprint here after I get my creamer, because I've made it very clear that's important. Anyway, I don't want to dissuade you on any area of your writing, but I do not want to set you up for failure. So it's just worth thinking about how well you can repeat your success. I need a spoon. All right. Repeating success. That's the key. And success just means completing your project at a level that you can sell it. That's what success at least means to me on some level. I mean, there's other successes like making a ton of money off of what you're creating, which who doesn't want to do that? Because this is what we love, so we want to make money at it. That would be nice. All right. On your mark, get set, write. This is our second 25-minute writing sprint where you actually make all this magic happen so you can then go sell your creative, wonderful things. It's for all kind of writers, so I hate to pinpoint. It's not just screenwriting or novelists. It can be nonfiction stuff, short film. What else is there? Podcasting. Blogging, whatever area you pick. One of the levels I use for myself is that I can create something at a professional level and then I can do it again. If I can only do it once, I don't know. Then I need to learn more. That's been some of my goals all along the way. Ooh, that's good coffee. I'm reinvigorated, or just I wasn't really invigorated before, so at least for this morning. Yeah, I have 2 good points, and if I could answer these, I definitely will Oh, I got one other question that I know I have to answer, and then that will make the rest of the screenplay. How does the protagonist deal with it all? All right, so now I have to take those questions, mix them in my mind, and spit them out in words. It's easy. So easy. It's still the point, my bigger point about writing is there are many processes and many people out there that can tell you how they do it and sort of how the maybe standard way is to do stuff. But as a creative person, you get to decide how you do it. And your way of doing it might be, well, it will be. It'll be quite different than the way I would do it, or the next guy, or the person on the bestsellers list, or, you know. But that's the beauty of it. Your way and my way can be very different, but still very successful. We can still get to the same goal of creating something at a professional, amazing level, but do it completely differently, completely backwards maybe from each other. Look at the movie Memento. Nobody had done that successfully until they did it. A backwards movie. It was kind of a novelty too, but it was well done, and they put it in the right genre. It was great as a thriller. If you try that with a horror story, that's an interesting thought. See, that's how you get really good ideas, is you look at movies that are successful and you're like, what if that was a fairy tale? Or, you just run it through. There's lists. There's lists out there. Those are like brainstorming tricks. Kids are sore losers because they're spoiled. They should win everything. Sorry to hear you're having issues playing a game. I know. I did raise a kid. How was he with games? He was the same. They always want to win. If they don't win, they take it badly. I can't remember any great way to deal with it, but you're doing it. I know you're doing it. She's young. Remember her age. She's young. So the lessons you're learning, the frustration you're feeling right now, you're basically teaching her she's not going to win all the time, but she's going to win sometimes. And the most important thing is not to make your mom mad while you're losing. Sorry, it's not fun playing Clue. That sounded so fun. So much fun to me. I would say that one of the biggest things I used with my son, just through the course of raising him, was always misdirection. So maybe employ some of that. To me, when things were going sideways, I always tried to have something else. Oh, let's color, or whatever it was. Let's play with cars. He had all those little Matchbox cars, and ones that you'd run up and we'd shoot them across the floor. So that was always a good misdirection, because I always felt I didn't want him to wallow too long in anger or frustration or whatever the moment was bringing. So misdirection really helped. Her character ate the cake. Oh, yeah, I forgot that part about Clue. So your character could be the bad guy. So I remember the first time my parents sat us down, and I was like 7. We played, they wanted to teach us, my brother and I wanted to practice Bridge, the card game. And so I still do not know really how to play Bridge. But anyway, we sat down to play Bridge, and they dealt out the hands. And the first hand, in Bridge, there's always one partner that doesn't play, and the partner plays for him. Because the two that play are the ones where they bid. So they're playing, trying to win all the tricks, I call them. So the one partner is called the dummy because they sit there like a dummy, and their partner plays for them. So I was the dummy the first time around, and they, of course, used that term. All right, you're the dummy, you don't play. And I was like, done, out. I'm not a dummy. Little 7-year-old me. I think you could actually imagine that it's me. So, I didn't like being called a dummy. So I wasn't going to play the game, and I didn't care that that's what anybody was called. But, luck of the draw. I ruined everything. I'm like, no, I'm not playing. I'm out of here. So she didn't like that her character ate the cake because it's negative. So see, they were both negative. There's a lesson there, I guess. We have fragile egos. It still goes back to what I was saying before. So at least you're teaching her some of this stuff in something that should be easy, like a game. It's just a game. You just have to use misdirection. And, go color. I have a great coloring book for states' capitals that she doesn't need to learn. But she'd like the coloring. It's not available. Can't buy it yet. All right, 17 minutes. That is the object, I guess, of what you're learning. Do not play board games with children. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while. All the children I know are in their 20s. I do have a new great nephew. Yeah, great nephew. If my nephew has a kid, that would be my great nephew, right? He's so adorable. They send pictures and he's just like a smiley baby. It's so cute. I know often they say if they smile, it means they have gas. But I mean, it's like a brand new baby. He doesn't even eat anything that would give him gas. But he smiles all the time when he's sleeping. Lesson learned. Or lesson you learned, huh, Allie? I see. Misdirection. Just direct her anger in a different way. She'll learn. You're in the terrible 3s, aren't you? I know they say it's the terrible 2s, but with my son, it was the 3s. I mean, to me, the 3s, and I guess it happens with many people in the 2s, is that kids start to test you. They push back a little, and I guess it could happen anywhere in those ages. But that's when it happened with my son when he was 3, and he did it once to me and once to Dad, and luckily we both handled it, I guess, in a good way. I don't know. I have a sister-in-law who, I guess she was like a social worker for a while with kids. So she knew a lot of child development things. And so she gave us some great advice. Hormones at 3? No. You're on your own there when it comes to a girl and puberty. I do not wish you, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. That's got to be hard. Because women are not, raising women takes some patience, I'm sure. At a certain level, it's really nice to just have a boy. I've definitely felt that raising a son. He was a good kid, though, a good little kid. He was really a good kid. But he did have this one period where he just tested us. And to me, the biggest part of being tested by a kid is that you can't cave. You got to say, this is how it is, and then you have to do that. And that's what one thing as a parent I was really careful of, is that if I said something, I either didn't say it definitively. I was big on saying, we'll see. I mean, my son learned that meant no, but I would say, we'll see, because then I could decide yes or no. I didn't have to commit myself. But if I ever committed myself to something, if there was ever a hard no, or if you do that again, this is going to happen, I had to do it. You cannot cave on a child, or they will know that you will cave. They might not know when you'll cave, but they'll keep knocking on that wall until it breaks, because they know you will. So to me, that was the one big takeaway of parenting. Pick your battles. And when you pick them, you got to stick to them. And for us, you have to find the proper amount of punishment for a young child. And for us, he loved his Matchbox cars. And we had this huge crate full of them that it was like one of those, you know, those kid crates, those plastic ones. And it would roll. So it was full of like 200 little Matchbox cars. Think how much money. They each cost $1. There was $200 in that crate. Anyway, if we warned him of something, said no, and then he said, hey, and that was the other thing. You have to warn, I think, all people. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. Just like you need to warn yourself to, like I was saying, I have to have my intentions. Oh, she's almost 6. She still shouldn't have any hormones. She's at the prime age to learn these lessons. This is when we employed this on my son. He was like 5. That you have to say, if you don't do this, you're going to lose your cars for, 20 minutes, whatever it is. It doesn't need to be they don't lose stuff forever. It just needs like 20, 30 minutes. And we would take his big crate of cars and I'd put it on top of the washing machine. So he could see it, but he couldn't reach it. And I didn't have to do that too many times. He didn't lose his cars that long. And he could even lose them for 15 minutes. It's just like with that game. It's the fact that they are losing something that they weren't even playing with, but they're losing it. And that's all that matters. And that teaches them that you as a parent are going to say, this is the way it's going to be. Not all the time, but on certain points, you're going to say, this is where I'm not going to cave. And you don't cave. And then they learn. That's my parenting lessons for the day. Cheers! Good to ya! I mean, parenting is like the hardest job in the world, and I think you're doing great. So just keep at it. You know your little munchkin. She's a handful, but she's worth it. Give her a hug. Oh, 6. What a great age. They still love you at 6. The good news is, whatever they're like as a teenager, if you can stay the course, not freak out when they freak out, if you can maintain your level and your rules that you have set up, do what you say you're going to do, and don't pick too many battles, just pick a few, they get through that, and then they come back and want to know you, and they love you. It's fun. It's fun that way. Kids are evil. Well, I'll take your word. I have not met your daughter. I have had friends, though, that I would definitely have said, I love them as a friend, but they probably were really hard to raise. Don't you know? Don't you know people like that? Hey, Kelly. Now, there's somebody I bet that was very easy to raise. How are you doing, Kelly Reese? Cheers. We're talking about little kids. And we did talk a bit about screenwriting today. How's your writing coming? Yeah. Allie, have you ever studied that stuff that, thoughts become words? If you call someone a monster, they are a monster? Maybe if you call her your little angel, she'll start being better. Wishful thinking. Although I think calling a kid a monster is kind of funny. It's kind of endearing. But not if it's true. You usually call somebody the opposite. Like, if some guy's big, they call him tiny. So you should have an opposite thing. You should be calling her angel. There's my angel. That's the true insult. If you call someone exactly what they are, it's not an insult. Or there's no subtext to it. All right, theoretically, I was onto something. I've got 3 great points now that I'm going to follow through to the end of this script. Because basically, since I'm at the midpoint, I am looking at all the scenes to the end. This is the end. This is the midpoint, and I'm heading this way. Ding, ding, ding. That's sweet. I like it when my fans are fans of each other. No internet? How can a coffee house have no internet? That doesn't... I mean, when people stop... I mean, I know it's not like a coffee house, but it sounds like one. Isn't it? Is it a tea house? If it's in the UK? Did I talk to you about that? Like, what's that great show? I love it. Escape to the Country show, where they take people out and show them all these country houses, plus a mystery house. I love that show. Honestly, it just makes you just want to go to England. So beautiful. At home, dork. Oh, I love it when you call me dork. I find that very endearing. So you could call me monster and I'd like it too. Oh, you lost your internet at home. Well, that's just wrong. Getting the tea bags out of them is fun. Do they like stick on? They're like dried in. Yeah. That's that English thing. But you guys got great cream. First rate, I bet. Like right from the cow. Churned up in the back. Man, I can feel the coffee kicking in now. Kelly, what have you been up to? It's nice that she popped in. Yeah, I feel good. I've got 3 things now. That'll be my week. Those 3 points will be my week for that script. And that's all I'm going to work on right here, because I can't. I don't know about you. When it comes to writing, like, I can obviously, if I'm in the middle of writing, I can focus and jump right in. I always like to say, if I know what I'm going to write, I can write it. If they find tea bags after they've been washed, I get an earful. Oh, well, I don't. What would you like to go into? Would you like to go into a coffee house and? Does that happen? Like there's a stuck tea bag in the teapot, and somebody pours the hot water in it anyway. It doesn't seem clean, but obviously it's just a tea bag. No one's putting their fingers in the teapot, are they? Your bunnies ate your laptop charger? Allie, at some point, I think you just need to write about your life. It's really fun. And sort of from a distance, it's very entertaining. You should write a blog. Oh, this is a great idea. So listen up. You should blog about your life. Just these little instances. And then you can just, excuse me. You can just turn, I'm getting choked up about this idea. Then you could just turn that into a book. You got to do it. The blogs can be short, just the amount of time you've got to write, about 250 words per blog. That's 2 pages of typed. And you just vent about your life and your daughter. It's the stuff. It's crazy. It'd be crazy because you're funny. I don't know if you know that, but it comes through in what you write here. I can hear you. I've seen you though. I have seen you live, but I can hear I hear your voice, which is your writing voice. It comes through in what you write here. They're grounded. See, that's hysterical. Think about it. I would read that blog and I would want it turned into a book. Sorry, I am draining today. We're still dealing with the air quality here has been bad. Excuse me. Because of the fires. Those fires are still going on in California. I don't know how people live with that. My heart goes out to them. All right. 4 minutes left. You have to set a schedule, Allie. That's all you have to do. If you set a schedule to do it at a certain time every day, you know what I used to do? when I was taking the online writing course, and I think this was a tip they gave you, excuse me, is that at night before I'd go to bed, I allowed enough time to read the lesson, and I would jot notes about whatever you had to write, right? And in the morning, I would get up, and wherever I had time in that day, I'd set aside just an hour or even a half hour, and I would expand on it. So that's what you could do. Actually, I should do it too. Just in general, that's a great idea, Anne. Is that before you go to bed, everyone usually has a little bit of time. And you can schedule it in. You can schedule yourself 20 minutes to sit down and think of something, jot it down. You can, especially if you're rehashing your day. The kid played the game and went nuts. The bunnies ate my charger. You're down. All right. In the morning or the next day, you expand on those just a little. And boom, you've got a blog. I was doing my podcast because I'm almost done with the recording my hosts. I have like 3 more I need. 3 more. And I think I'm going to get my husband to do them. I have so many with my brother-in-law that I feel like I need somebody different. I don't know. Anyway, what was I going to say? Anyway, I lost my thought. I just got lost in the logistics of that. It'll come back to me. Remind me. But I just totally lost it. The Ramblings of an Insane Single Mother. That's a great title. Yeah, don't put the insane in quotes. I think that's someone would read that. Yeah. It's hysterical. And it would be really good for you to let it out. It's therapy that you can combine with this great blog that people would read. Boom. Win, win, win. I love that. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I knew it would come back to me. So my brother-in-law, Darcy, who I do this, who's one of our co-hosts on this blog or this podcast, we were saying how we should have a podcast about our family because we were talking about one of his brothers, and so another one of my brother-in-laws, because my husband is one of 9 kids. He's getting married. And so we were all discussing, are you going? Are you going? So they're having a destination wedding, which is fine, but they're having it in like this really expensive place in Cancun. When is it? I think it's this year, or is it next? No, it's next year in March. So it's next year in March. So no problem. But I looked online. It's this beautiful resort, and it's like $575 a night US. And you have to stay at least 3 nights. I mean, it's not like I hate to say I can afford it because there's no way I would spend money like that. That's ridiculous. For 3 nights and then airfare, it would cost easy $2,500 US to go to this wedding. I'm sure it'd be gorgeous, but I can't spend money that way. I got many ways I could spend that money. And I think that was the gist, is like, even if I had the cash in my bank account, it's already earmarked for other things, and at least it should be. Trevor, how are you? Trevor Jones. That's such a great name. I like it. You're late. Oh, so the podcast hasn't been launched yet. It's called, but there is a website. I have been blogging, so I've created, it's called iscarystory.com is the website where I blog about posts. So the podcast is going to be us discussing these scary news stories. So we kind of laugh at them and say our piece. I think it's going to be fun. And it's interesting. My son picked I'm doing it with my son, and he picked the category because he thought scary news stories sounded fun. So that's it, but it's gonna launch October 1st, and I'll let you guys know. Right now I am deep in editing the podcast because it's not like one of those ones that you can just talk about it and then put that out. I just can't. I do this whole thing where you you sort of go into the story and you hear it. So I've got a lot of sound effects and things, and then we discuss it. Anyway, it's many layers of editing. Yes, Lyric, Mother of a Fairy Tale, that's one I did too. So Lyric is an audio drama. So that's actually a book, and I put that book on Kindle Vella. I have like 9 episodes up of it, or 9 chapters. And I'm only on the 4th. I've done 4 episodes for it where I created it into a podcast, like an audio drama. So that's way different. So this other one is us discussing. It's more like a news. So I think it's more a better genre. Audio dramas, I love it. But once again, a lot of time to edit those. And I like doing that one because it was just me. And I have other voices in it. I tried to do voices for some of the parts because it's a story, right? And so, you have to do the voices. So I have a lot of IA voices that I used and tricks, and I don't know if it sounds great as you go along. It was kind of an experiment. But so this one we're doing, that's a new show about, scary things. I think it's a broader, like a lot more people will enjoy watching it or listening to it. We do film it too. It's a really... We'll have, I got a big plan to promote it. So you'll hear about it. Oh, you did? Thank you. You have a podcast? What's the name? I'll try to find it. Yeah, so if you want to just clue in, it's called iscarystory.com. Letter I. That's the website for it. That's all that's out right now. But we'll have a YouTube channel for it, and we're putting a bunch of videos together to promote because I use this program called Zencastr. It's free. I guess you can pay for part of it, but it records audio and video at the same time. So we take the video, obviously the audio we use for the podcast, but we take the video and create little trailers. My son he does all that. They're kind of cool. So we are creating trailers, and we're just really trying to do it professional. Try to launch it big time. But thanks for checking out Lyric. What did you think? Because to me that was just, it was me testing that. Sound effects are hard. I used something called Zapsplat. It didn't cost that much. It's like a group out of Australia. It has a lot of sound effects, but it also has music and stuff like that you can use. And it had like a yearly fee. It wasn't that big to license everything for a year. So, and there's a lot of free stuff out there, free sound effects, but very time consuming to lay that all in. Oh, what? Oh, Allie, I think what you got was the Kindle bonus, the Kindle Vella bonus. I got a Kindle Vella bonus. Let's see, I threw it. It was like $72. So 23, that's great. So someone said that it's just going to come up in your royalties. But if you go into kdp.com and then click on the Vella, there's like a new dashboard it's like in beta, but at the top it allows you to click on it. And that's where then on the side, you click again on the Kindle Vella dashboard and you can see the breakdown. But mine's the same. I have earned no royalties, but I earned this Kindle Vella launch bonus. Because I did drive a lot of people to Kindle Vella. I haven't done anything new with it. But we'll see. The monster and the bunnies. I think you should blog about that. Let's see. And I spoke about it last time on here, and there was somebody that said that they had heard Kindle Vella was going to do that the rest of this year, give a bonus to everybody. So if the $23 was worth it, keep pushing people to your Kindle Vella. I don't know. I mean, I was really surprised to get the $72 because, money. Okay, guys, I am going to let you loose for the day. Let you get back. You're deleting it. Not one read. Well, I mean, here's the thing with Kindle Vella. No one is going to read it if you don't make them go there. There's no way to find you organically. And there's no rhyme or reason why the people that are up on the homepage of Kindle Vella there's no rhyme or reason why they're there. I mean, some of them now, you can see why they're there, but there are plenty that are there that obviously are paying for it, right? Bye, Allie. Thanks for dropping in, Trevor and Sergio and Kelly. It was good to see your names, and I hope you have a really good week. We'll be back here on Friday. Let's see, the last audio drama. Oh, well, that's a... See, that's what, so little old me's competing against Kristen Wiig and Ethan Hawke doing audio dramas. Geek Sweat, what a cool... Film reviews, news interviews, cool. I will look for it. I'm going to write it down. That's a cool title. I liked it. I mean, I like it. Geek Sweat. Cool. Thanks, Trevor. Sorry you couldn't join us earlier, but hopefully you can watch the replay and get your writing in. Allie, take care. Be nice to those bunnies. And your little monster. Oh, little angel. Let's start calling her Little Angel. All right, guys. Have a really good day and be really creative and good.